and welcome to Barb Talks. Today we're back in the doll cabinet, or the curio cabinet, to take a look at some more treasures. Today, let's take a look at the gnomes. I've got the gnomes on the bottom shelf, right down there. The first gnome is one that I got at, I think it was Barnes and Noble. It was at a bookstore. And this little gnome has his hands behind his back, and he came with a little lawn, a little yard gnome, and then with some different pictures. So this gnome can be at home in a garden. Get my hand out of the way. At home in a garden, or he can be visiting another country or watching the other country. Or he could be in a home with a yard. That's your good garden gnome right there. Or he could be up in the Alps, because we all know that gnomes come from the northern countries. So that's my first gnome today. I think that's one of my favorites because it looks similar to my own house. This is if you don't have a yard, you can get your own garden gnome and come with your own lawn and your own house and have it displayed inside your house. This teeny tiny little gnome was given to me by my sister-in-law. She has a Nordic heritage, and so one Christmas holiday season, she bought everybody a little gnome that looks like this. So we all got the same kind of gnome, and I love little tiny things. So I thought that was just an adorable little gnome. So that's from Margaret. This gnome I got at a free swap, and it's not the traditional colored gnome. It's almost more of a fall gnome if there's seasonal gnomes. So that's part of the gnome collection. Welcome, gnome. What I do at certain times of the year was I'll get out my gnome collection and have it up just for fun. Now this, what does it say on the bottom? It says 2004 Horn Abbott Ltd. Made in China. I wonder why gnomes have their hands behind their back so often. I wonder if that's has a symbol of some sort. I've got a bigger gnome. Let me go get that one for you. This is a gnome that I actually had in my kitchen for a while. One of the things I also put it up during the month of March, a little shamrock sticker on it. I think this one's really cute because it has birds on it. It's a gentle garden gnome, though I haven't put this gnome in the garden. I've had it inside. But instead of having its hands behind its back, it's holding on to a little bird. Another series of gnomes. I keep these in my plants. In fact, I should put this in the plant behind me up there. So I've got two little plant gnomes. One of them is more of a wizard gnome with a marble stake. Yeah, you're not really used to seeing gnomes that are not in colorful clothes. Little elf shoes. And a garden gnome with a big flower. And they both have stakes so that I can put them in my plants. This is a gnome that my daughter made for me when she was in middle school, and they had wood shop at that time. And she made this adorable gnome for me, designed it, cut it out of wood, and painted it. Because I didn't have a girl gnome, and so she made me a girl gnome. So that's one of my favorite gnomes since it was handmade just for me. I've got another gnome that I made, so let me go get that one. This is a gnome that my daughter got this gnome kit. I think it was actually supposed to be a Santa kit, and you could paint it whatever you wanted to paint it. And so my daughter and I decided that we would, instead of make Santas, we would make gnomes. And this gnome, I gave it my Welsh background with a little Welsh dragon. And I gave it my Finnish background with the Finn flag. And then I gave him just kind of a wise Native American look, and then a wizard type of hat, just to represent magic. So that's the gnome that I made. You know, if you really think about it, Santa could be considered a gnome, up in the North Pole, running around, giving out presents, and he doesn't really cause the mischief that sometimes elves and gnomes do, but I figured this is part of my gnome collection. And I have another one that's in my Christmas stuff, which I need to get out really soon and put that up. But it's a troll. So I think trolls are kind of gnomes, right? So with that in mind, I'll show you some of the trolls that I have here. The first troll is one that I got when I was a little girl. This was probably preschool when I got this. And it's so old that the hair, which I'm sure was originally real fur, has slowly fallen out of its head. It used to be black. Now it's kind of a brown, what's left of it. And this was the original troll gnome outfit that came with a little rosette around her face. And she came with little pantaloons. I mean, isn't that just adorable? And little shoes. Back in the day, trolls were pretty fancy. So that was my troll that I got when I was a preschooler. And then there's a few other trolls that I've collected over the years. I don't know where exactly this one came from, but when my kids would graduate from various high school and college, I'd put this troll up as a decoration to celebrate their graduation. And this is one that somebody made some clothes for. I think my daughter made some clothes for this one. And I'm not sure what's the meaning of this troll. Don't know if I'll keep all of these, but I just wanted to show them. I guess that's part of why I'm doing these YouTubes, so that I can take a look at some of the memories and decide, do I want to keep them or not? And then even if I give them away, I'll still have the memory to come back and watch these YouTube videos and see the dolls and the toys, see my garden, see the different things that I like to decorate the house with. So it allows some staying power of being able to remember things by seeing them on videos. And then these three little trolls, these are actually, they have a place that you can put your pencil. I think they're supposed to ride on the back of your pencil. I got these when I went to a trip to Cannon Beach and was looking for souvenirs that were affordable. And I just thought these three little trolls were adorable. And this is kind of what trolls, when you see trolls these days, it seems like they're just our little naked things. But like I was saying, back in the 1960s, trolls came pretty decked out in fancy clothes. So this is probably one of my newer trolls, and this is an older troll, to give you an idea of how trolls have changed over the years and how they've stayed the same. Well, thanks for coming along today and taking a look at my collection of various gnomes and trolls. And thanks for watching Barb Talks.